Welcome traders back to my YouTube channel for another episode of your weekly trade ideas. So we're going to be looking at the markets today for trade ideas moving into tomorrow. So that is the 15th of September. And I'm not sure what's happened today. I haven't gone through the 10 pairs that we usually go through. So it'll be really interesting to see what has happened. But what I do know is I have just closed out of a very beautiful trade here on gold, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. I just want to say to you guys that if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Turn on notifications, and if you enjoy this video, guys, make sure you hit that like button for me for the algorithm so we can share the love, share the wisdom, share the knowledge, and it just helps me to know just a little bit that you guys are appreciating the video. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Before we start the outlooks, we're going to just run through the markets again from yesterday, see what the trade ideas that we spoke about yesterday, what happened, see if there was any good opportunities. And if not, we just move on and we look for more opportunities for tomorrow. So I took this trade here on gold today. You probably remember me speaking about price pulling back to around a 50% area of this push phase from the CPI news. We didn't get that clearly. And then we was looking for an intraday level. I was a bit skeptical to call this out. And I did say that if you haven't been trading for a while, you may need to probably wait for something a little bit more clearer. But for those that know, you know. I took this trade a little bit early today. I don't regret it. I was almost at a 1-to-4 in this trade. And then it just turned against me for the London Open. So I closed it out for just shy of 1 hour profit. Nothing major there. I mean, I guess profits are profits, right? We're always going to be grateful. And then I went about my day. I've been super busy today. And I just got on with what I needed to do. And then I decided to take another trade again earlier on, which is this one here. I think it was around the New York session, okay? So the first trade, let's talk about this for a second. We didn't quite get back to this 1707 area, but I like the idea here. After this really strong push phase, I felt like it was an impulsive move that could have been corrected. And once I saw the lower high and then the double top of this lower high form with the bearish, the bullish depletion and bearish momentum shifting back into the markets, I thought to myself, let me just go for this, right? It's pre-London. We have an impulsive move to the upside. When London opens, there's a chance that we can get that volume that we need to continue pushing this market down. And as you probably can see here, when London opened, we had this shift to the upside. At the time, there was a mentor in the Rox Fitness Academy who was on a live trading session who was taking sells on USD Jpy. And once his trade, after he pulled it out, started shifting in his direction, you just kind of know that gold is going to go up. So once price started pushing up, I closed it in and around these areas here. Now, as I said, I moved on for the day and I just went about my business. And by the time I got back to my charts, which was around 2 o'clock, I do believe, or thereabouts, yeah, I saw that price was in this area. I didn't get in on the first push here, which I would have liked to be honest with you. Because it really just, well, actually, I don't care if I did or I didn't. You know, I was just waiting for price to get back into this area again. And then I used some scaling down techniques to use the 2-candle theory to get in here, which was a nice opportunity, more confirmation, I guess. You get a level that's respected twice, and then you get that momentum shift from a 1 minute perspective, which I'm not going to discuss. I don't want to confuse anybody, but we got the shift. And I jumped into the trade. And as you can see here, we had a really nice push and a pull back into this area. I didn't manage this trade, if I'm brutally honest with you guys. I've been working super hard today. I actually went and took a really nice nap. So when I woke up, it was nice to see that price was, I think, in and around these areas here. And I decided just to continue to hold this trade to see if we can get back down to some of these lows, which is the low that I mentioned again yesterday. I didn't hold it for that long. I closed it out around 1 to 6 and I shared that with you guys on Instagram. So the point I'm just trying to make here is this. There are some of you out there that would have been trading excessively today. You would have been trading, I believe, USD strength this morning. Then we had USD weakness. Then we've had quite a lot of range in markets. And I just want to say this to you guys, you know, you don't trade because, you know, you come into the markets for war or for battle or to prove a point or to get something out of it, because if you don't, then you feel insignificant. You're trading for your future. And it's really important that you understand this, because If your future dreams and aspirations and the things that really mean something to you, your freedom, your independence, then your immediate results should not impact you as much as they are for a lot of you. And it's really sad to see, because I've been at this for 12 years, right? Coming up 13 now. And for the first 6 years of my trading journey, I never had a mentor. There weren't this many videos on YouTube. And if there were, it was all about the daily time frame, or the weekly and monthly time frame. And when you're trading with a £50 or $50 or £100 or $100 account, you ain't got time to be waiting for no weekly, monthly time frames to be setting up for you. Do you understand? Well, that was the mindset then. Now you guys have an opportunity to go on YouTube, to read books, to go on Instagram, to figure out what concepts and strategies you could be trading, and then apply them in the markets to see if they work. If they don't, after a period of 100, 200, 300, how many traders you want to get that data and information, then move on. But there's got to get to a point, guys, where you start taking full responsibility for your actions and stop blaming the markets. Start taking some accountability. Realize that this is all about discipline and patience. This is all about you following the process. If you cannot do that, then stop trading. And I don't want to discourage any of you, but the truth of the matter is, you're going to cause yourself more torture than it's worth. Simply put. This is probably the hardest thing that you're going to do. And par trading, you're trying to free yourself from your 9 to 5. You're trying to own your time. You're trying to make more money than you've currently been earning. That requires you to make massive shifts in all aspects of your life. In the way you think, in the way you act, in the way you behave, in the way you do things, your routine. Like, you can't be giving up, and you can't be quitting, and you can't be getting frustrated because you're not getting the results you want right now. You know that you are probably doing some dumb shit that is causing those results because you lack the discipline and patience. Fix up and look sharp. Deal with it. Get over it. Be responsible. Stop claiming you want to help your mum and dad, and you want to help your wife or husband, and you want to support your children and leave a 9 to 5 and open charities. That's all BS. Because if it was true, you would do it. And if it was true, which I believe is true, and you really mean it, then you ain't giving up and you ain't blaming the markets. If I gave up 6 years ago, I wouldn't be here where I am today. Or 12 years ago or 10 years ago, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I tell you, what I have achieved has not come through luck. It's not come because it's landed in my lap. It's come through blood, sweat, and tears. So what if the markets are ranging? Identify that, don't trade. If your trade didn't work out, don't go and do something dumb to then jeopardize everything you've been building on. Do you understand? This is a fine example. This trade in front of you. If I hit this 1 to 4 this morning, how do you think I would have felt? Amazing. But I didn't. And I didn't walk away and start throwing a tantrum, getting upset, and throwing my dummy at the buggy. I just went about my business. I think for a lot of you, you need a damn hobby. That's what it is. You're sitting here fixated on your charts all day long, thinking that the more you sit here, the more trades you can take, the more money you're going to make. But it's not true. What you're supposed to do is execute your trade and hold your trade. That's how you make more money. Risk small, gain big. Or follow your plan to the T for at least 90 days straight, which you most probably haven't done. Or journal your trades so that you can gather some data to identify what is working and what is not working and tweak it. Figure out the beliefs that are holding you back and shift them. Don't say, I want this and I'm motivated and I'm hungry, because everybody's hungry, my friend. Everybody is motivated. You need to shift from the old identity and create the new. And with that new identity, you need to live in accord with it every single day. And if you're living in accord with that new identity every single day, guess what's happening? You ain't got time to be thinking about the negatives. You haven't got time to be thinking about what's going wrong. Your only focus is to work and grind and achieve those goals. You're on a damn mission. If I said to you, I will give you $1 million if you travel from wherever you are in the country, from South Africa, America, Canada, wherever you may be in the country, you travel here just with a rucksack on your bag and $100 in your pocket. Doesn't matter how long it takes you to get here, you get to me with a rucksack and $100 in your pocket, and I'll give you $1 million. Whether you have to travel across sea, whether you have to sleep in the back of a lorry, whether you have to jump in a truck with sheep, you're going to make it happen, right? That should be the same with your trading journey. Make those visions, make those dreams, make those goals, make those whatever it is you want so big that along this journey, your trading journey, you are able to acquire that at some point or another because it means so much to you. And you are prepared and willing to put in whatever it takes to get there. Give up, you'll never know. Throw tantrums, you'll never have clarity. Okay, so for those that are out there and they're feeling a bit down and worked up because they've had a bad day, come on, guys, man. Like, seriously, come on. You can't have a poverty mindset and make money. You've got to shift it. All right, that's that. So let's take a look at the market very quickly. Pound USD to the hourly time frame. What did we say? All right, beautiful. So we said we want to see price coming back into 1570, 1578. Look for that retest and a continuation. That is exactly what is happening. Guys, let me know in the comments if you were able to jump into this trade. That is beautiful. Next one. We said that we want to see what with pound JPY? Well, we want to see a continuation bearish in this market. We can see from the Asian session, we actually had that retest into 166.48. Remember, I spoke about this level. I really do remember we spoke about this level in depth and how we gathered this information to identify that yen was strong, pound was weak, and that we'd have a continuation to the downside. Now, look what's happened. The immediate retest of 166.48, I reckon most of us were sleeping at this time, but if not, look at the movement back down to the low, 93 pips. Breakout trades, intraday break and retest, whatever it may be. Guys, another beautiful call here. Please let me know in the comments if you're able to hit this up. Gold, we're looking for a pullback into 1707 and or 1714. We had that pullback and a continuation down. Again, another beautiful call. I hope you guys were able to take advantage of this one as well. USD Jpy, we want to see this continue bullish because of the USD strength. So this clearly is identifying to me that we had that CPI news, where it's a whole heap of doo-doo. Price went up. Now look at this correction on this move. So it's going to be a bit difficult gauging USD, I guess, based on what I'm seeing here, but we'll figure that out no matter what. Price did come back into 143. We didn't respect it. And now you can see this move to the downside. Something tells me that there was some bad news with pound today. Seeing that market go down because the confluence with USD strength does not line up with USD JPY. The JPY does, but the USD doesn't. So we'll continue to see what happens in a moment. But nonetheless, anyway, this is broken. So pound JPY and pound USD is the one that has worked out so far. We were looking for a continuation bearish on EJ. Remember, we said the brick wall break of the previous structural low here. Looking for a continuation down. That's exactly what we see happening. The breakout was pretty strong this morning, pre-London. So if you were able to take advantage of that, congratulations and well done. And if you wasn't, then it is what it is. But we do have this continuation now, so it'll be interesting. But I'm going to clear the charts and start again with analysis to see what is happening. But I guess another beautiful call here. Euro USD, we wanted to see price pulling back into this area. So what we can see here is a battle between the weakness of the euro based on euro yen and the strength of the dollar from yesterday. And we've just had this sideways moving market. There's nothing to make up of this. And this kind of illustrates to me why some of you may have been frustrated today looking at Euro USD if you trade it, because look at how awful this is. But this has done nothing. So I hope you ain't taking any trades with this one. Now, USD CAD, we had this break above and we respected this for the London session. So if you was able to jump into this, congrats. This is a really nice opportunity to take advantage of a 40 pip range. So if you was able to take advantage of that, great. If you wasn't, then it is what it is. We have corrected and that move had a breakout break back into this structure. We're going to clear this again and start with the analysis. It looks like we're continuing to push bullish. We'll clear the charts. By the looks of it, though, USD is confused. especially what we've seen here as well with Euro USD. Now, Aussie Dollar USD, we wanted to see a pullback into 68.18 and or a break of 67.32 for a continuation bearish. Again, we've just been ranging all day again, so we'll wait patiently to see what happens. And we'll clear the charts and start again with this one. USD Swiss Franc, we want to see price pull back into this, break above the structure here at 96.31 in line with USD strength. We've been ranging again. And guys, look, if you are trading these USD pairs like the way you are, and you're not jumping on these high volume pairs like gold, pound JPY, pound USD, then I really urge you to really think about the pairs that you're trading. You don't need to trade 10 pairs. I personally just trade GJ and gold 95% of the time. And then the rest of it, I may dabble in one or two other pairs if I feel like it. But if you focus on GJ and gold, firstly, we'd have the same analysis. Secondly, you have a lot more volume and momentum in the market on a daily basis, and you will be able to avoid market conditions with small ranges that look like this. So you no longer have to battle the markets because you will have guaranteed volume and momentum. Something to consider. New Zealand Dollar USD, we wanted to see a pullback into 60.38, and we have a beautiful pullback into 60.38. And now you can see the continuation of that move. And it's very important you identify again. Remember, we do not move our levels to the lows of the lower time frames. We stick to the higher levels and the higher time frames because that's more often than not where price is going to respect. And we've seen that a couple of times this week. So that is the overview. As far as I'm concerned, it has been a success again with those trade idea calls. And I really do hope you will take 1 minute to like this video, type in the comments below what trades you've taken. And without further ado, let's get on with the week's analysis. That's not true. Without further ado, let's get on with the trade ideas for the 15th of September. Okay, traders, so starting with pound USD on the daily time frame, you can clearly see that the sentiment of the market is still bearish here. We have an area in the market where price came back for a retest, and we've respected that area. We have this shift to the downside, indicating this continuation of this USD strength and or pound weakness. And by the looks of the analysis that we just done, we are seeing pound weakness. So to be honest with you, it is better that we stick to that idea for now until the markets tell us otherwise. Granted, we haven't broken this low for quite some time since the start of the month. Actually, well, not even start of the month. Wow. All the way back in March, we've made this level. So look, it is going to take some real force to get through this level. So with that being said, let's scale down and see what happens. Now, looking at the structure on the 4H, I'm an intraday trader. So I'm really only interested in intraday moves. So I don't need price to break this low personally to look for the move. What I'm seeing here is a brick wall break back into the area of resistance previously. Big momentum shift here. By the looks of it, this has got to do with some news or something. Look at the range of this candle. We're having this exhaustion pullback. Now, this is pulling back into an area in the market where we previously created a structural high, and now we're respecting that. So the levels that I'm going to be looking for, because I'm not trading now, that is for a fact, but I'll be looking to see how price respects 1574. Would I suggest looking for buys? You could. It will take some scaling down techniques to identify those buys from a lower time frame perspective. So I'm not going to suggest that. I would suggest just continuing to look for sells. I think I'm going to sell you short if I say that. So I will have to do scaling down techniques now to help you understand where I'm going with this one. So, right, we react from 1574. We expect price to get to 1489. Ideally, we would like to see a break of 1489 for a continuation bearish as part of today's behavior and the sentiment being pound weakness. So that would be really nice to see. We've had this pullback now. Let's see if we have this continuation. That would be fantastic in line with the higher time frame trend. We haven't broken this level, or we've created this level in March and we haven't broken it at all since then. So it's a big feat, not impossible, but it is a big feat. If we do break it, there's a chance we just continue flying down. If we don't, then, you know, we just may consider looking for those lower time frame trading opportunities within this range that it's now creating. So heading down to the hourly time frame, what is going to be interesting here? Well, I like the idea of price breaking the previous higher low. This is going to be the first time in the market where a major structure has been broken. It is not the first time in the market where a lower high has been formed in terms of the intraday trend shift. So if I go to the 15-minute, you will see a brick wall break here, a failure to break the structural high, and then now you will see your structural high, lower high, lower high. Okay, so definitely bearish sentiment right now. What I want to see with this is price break this low clearly through the Asian session. If we're going to continue bearish, that's going to be fantastic. And then what I want to see the market do is eventually come back to 15.45 for a continuation back down to 14.89. That would be the ideal plan of action. Now, the range that we have from this level back down to the lows is going to be 52 pips, which is absolutely massive. On GU, get yourself a 5 to 7, maximum 10 pip stop loss, and you got yourself a beautiful 1 to 3, 1 to 4, or 1 to 5 there. At the moment, I'm not going to be looking for any buys. I think I'm going to stop at the hourly time frame. It makes a lot of sense just to focus on this break of 15.45 and then a continuation bearish. And all I'll be thinking in the back of my mind is the new daily candle open wick form, then the flip for a continuation bearish of that daily candle. So that's the idea behind pound USD. Clearing GJ, it goes without saying, we are going to be looking for continuation sells here. We have the previous day's behavior bearish and a continuation of that previous day's behavior bearish, a 50% retracement back into the previous area. I spoke about this so clearly yesterday. Wait for the wick to form first and then look for that continuation bearish. That is exactly what has happened. And now we're coming into a major structure here where we've had this wick rejection. So we've got to be patient. We've got to be making sure that we are either seeing the break of this structural low, which is at 165.16. And I don't think I want to pull back to that level. So let's scale down and start looking for our intraday areas in the market. So again, we have a bullish sentiment, a failure to break, a break of the previous structure, beautiful retest here, beautiful, which we've just highlighted a little while ago, and now we're looking for a continuation bearish. So I'm going to take a structural low, which has just been broken from an intraday perspective, which is this area here in the market. So just to illustrate that, if I go to the 15-minute time frame, you'll see this area, as I've just highlighted, which is this low, breakout, break back in. I would like to see price do a couple of things here. Pull back into this level at 166.07 for a potential continuation bearish. Back down to these lows where price is holding right now. So that will be daily wick form, daily continuation. Let's start identifying the structural lower highs, just in case we don't get there. And we'll make a plan that if we don't pull back to 166.07 for now, we'll be looking for the simple break and retest of 165.12 for a continuation. Let's clear this up. We do not need so many lines in here. That was just an illustration. Cool. And then let's go down to the 30-minute time frame here. Am I interested in this breakout break back in level here? No, the range is too small, so I'm not going to risk anything between the ranges here. I would much prefer to see a pullback into this area for a continuation bearish. So if we do not hold 165.67, then my next level is 166.08. If we hold 165.67, we get those signals, then I'm looking for a continuation back down to 165.12. So that is a 45 pip range. And then if we do not pull back because we have a continuation of that pound weakness and yen strength, then I'm looking for a simple break back into 165.12 retest continuation. Beautiful. Nice and simple there with that one. And we move on. Now, I never like to clear these, but we have to. New day. And what they say, another dollar, right? So if gold is able to break this low, when was the last time this low was broken? Let's just get this level drawn in here now first, right? When was the last time this was broken? Way back in March. Oh, wow. Okay. I have some high hopes for GU breaking that low, guys. If we can start seeing gold making this shift already, there is a very high chance that we'll see GU do that as well. But we'll be patient. We obviously know that the level we need to see break is going to be 1692. I'm going to mark in our structural high. It is too far. And if price comes back to this area, it really just doesn't matter to me for tomorrow. I'll just wait patiently for new behavior because the sentiment will just absolutely shift and you'll need a whole daily candle to get up there. So you just need some major news. Let's move down to the 4-hourly. We can see the shift in the structure of the market again. Bullish sentiment, brick wall break, failure to break the structural highs. And now I know that the market is bearish, so I'm only looking for sells. I'm looking for an area where price stalled for about 12 hours before continuing bearish. So we had bullish sentiment, depletion, and then a continuation bearish back into 1696. Beautiful structure. So the first area I'm looking for my intraday pullbacks is going to be 1706 here for a retest and a continuation between this range and this range from the structural high to the low is 87 pips. Absolutely gorgeous, and we definitely can work with that. Moving down to the hourly time frame, you can see here price stalled at this for a very long period of time. It just goes without saying here, we have an area in the market where this level was created and then where this level was respected. Very, very simple trade here, guys. You should be looking out for this. This should stand out like a sore thumb. So just be mindful of this. Now, this is a intraday consolidation. So we know once price breaks out of consolidation, there is a chance that price can pull back into consolidations around the 1700 mark and then retest these structures where the volume kicked in and the break happened. So bears are in the market for sure. And then I'll be looking for a continuation there. I'm not going to scale down to any other time frame other than the hourly on this one. The plan of actions are as follows: 1706.15 retest continuation, 1712 retest continuation, and or the most obvious, a break of 1695 and then a continuation. Okay, simple plan again with gold. Now taking a look at USD Jpy, we can see that the structure of this market, the sentiment of this market is super bearish. The overall structure of the market is bullish, so we're going to respect that, but at the same time, we're not silly. And we don't have all the hours in the world to be trading this trend to the upside. Well, I don't personally. So I'm going to be focusing on intraday behavior. So I'll mark my structural high and my structural low here. We may adjust these as we go down. And as of now, we are seeing some kind of yen strength across the market, but we're also seeing dollar strength as well. Usually when you bring two strong currencies together, guys, you get a range where price just bounces up and down, okay? And unless I see a dominant currency like yen more stronger than the dollar and or the dollar more stronger than the yen, I'm not going to trade this. I'm just now going to wait for a break of 144.90 or a break of 142.08 and then see what happens with the markets. Okay, so I'm not going to give any ideas here. As I said, you guys are probably trading way too many pairs that you got yourself caught up in some ranges today, slow moving markets, when you could, in theory, just be trading GJ and gold, where all the volume and the momentum and volatility is out, and be taking advantage of some of those great moves that we've been calling out this week. So I'm not going to call any ideas here. It's not about not being right or wrong. I just don't like the idea of trading two strong currencies together that will create a range. So let's move on. Let's take a look at euro yen. Now, we've mentioned strength on yen, and we've seen that across the board. So I like the idea now that price is breaking this structural low. Very beautiful. We're marking the structural high. Not that that is important at this stage. Again, if price comes back here, I'm not interested. So we know our first point of call for our retests and looking for our trade ideas is going to be around 143.19. We're starting to break this structure, and we've kind of rejected it. I don't see this as a break yet, but through the Asian session, if I do see price pushing and then pulling back into 143.19, then I'm all for these trades. If price breaks back into these structures, then I'm not going to be trading EJ again. I'm just going to focus on what I know is very simple to trade. And right now, GU, GJ, and gold look like the easiest pairs to be trading right now for sells. Okay. So let's see what happens through the Asian session. If we get this push phase, initiate that continuation of that yen strength, then that pullback into 143.19, fantastic, we'll go for it. Let's see if we find any information here on, wow, beautiful, on the hourly time frame. Look how beautiful this is. We have price failing to break the structural highs here, breakouts and breakback-ins, consolidations. We finally break through these structures here with a strong bearish momentum candle. And look, I know some of you want some of these tight entries with small stop losses, but look, if you just simply risk, let's say 1,000 here to make 1,000 back down to the structural low, you telling me you're not going to be happy with that once a week or even twice a week? I think some of you get too caught up in your stop loss sizes and your targets and everything else. Granted, bigger targets are great, but I mean, look, if you just simply waited patiently for what happens every single day, simple behavior, simple price action. We said that we're looking for continuation sales on euro yen yesterday because of the yen strength. We've been speaking about that all week, and you get all this information that prints in front of you. Don't know where the market's going. Is it strong? Is it weak? Is it strong? Is it weak? And then eventually you just have this big, strong volume candle to the downside. Beautiful break. And then what can you anticipate? A continuation. You're not going to buy after this, right? Clearly, you're not going to buy after this. So you go for those sells. You risk 1,000, you make 1,000. Bob's your uncle, right? Make 1,000 a week. That's $4,000 a month. Do this twice a week. You just doubled your income. You've got to keep it simple, guys. So I like this retest now, but I'm not trading it at all. You've got to be crazy. We've got about an hour and 40 minutes before New York closes. I have the wider spreads, and I'm just not interested in trading. But 143.19 looks good. We're respecting it. So let's see if we leave and come back. I will be mindful again of the structural low as a retest area. So if we go deeper into this level, that's completely fine. And this will be the last point in call for a deep pullback double top pattern. For continuation sell on this one before the whole structure changes to a structural higher low and then potential higher high. So this is what I'm looking for. A nice pullback into 143.19 and or 43.46 for a continuation bearish moving into tomorrow. Okay, that's my analysis on euro yen. Now, the fact that I'm looking for sells in euro yen means that euro should be weak. In theory, I have identified USD strength as well based on the market sentiment. So I should be seeing this continue bearish. Okay, we're seeing the bullish depletion here, and we are seeing that the market potentially is flipping off at the back of yesterday's behavior. Where are we going? Well, I'm going to take most of the wick areas here because this is important to me. We had a breakout, break back, and immediately I believe we're going to get down to here at some point tomorrow. So that's the idea. 99.41. With that in the back of my mind, let's look for ideas to trade. So we have our second lower high in this formation. This is a really nice area to see price come back to during the right trading hours, and then a continuation back down to 99.41. The range from here to here is 61 pips. Beautiful. So we can look to take advantage of that. If we don't respect this level, we start pulling back. That means we're going to have a shift in structure, guys. So I would monitor, again, whether that USD is staying strong or is being flaky like it was today. And you also have to monitor euro yen to see if euro is strengthening and the idea of continuation sells starts to become invalid. If we don't get a pullback into this area here for a continuation bearish during the right trading hours, then it really just makes sense that we wait patiently for this break of 99.41 and then look for this retest and continuation bearish to the downside. Please do be mindful of this area in the market. It is a reaction area. So if you're in a trade, look to manage that, looking for your targets and making sure you're checking your ranges before entering those trades, that you've got a positive range to be able to take advantage of some good risk reward ratio trades. All right. That's the idea behind Euro USD. Now, based on the fact that we are mentioning that USD is strengthening again, we should see this continue bullish, and that is the case. We're breaking above this structural high for the first time in a while, which is very good information for some of the analysis that we have done. And what we'd like to see is a close above this area in the market. Now, moving into tomorrow, what we would like to see with USD CAD is we would like to see price respect this 31.69 area. We haven't respected it in the past. As you can see, we've always broken out and broken back into it. We've got a nice 4-hourly close. What I'd like to see, actually, let's mark this in as a minor area. This is not an area I'm looking for this retest, right? But what I'd like to see during the Asian session is price pushing and getting above this for the first time to support the idea that we can respect this level and then look for that break, retest, and continuation. Whatever you're trading, it doesn't matter. Supply, demand, Fibonacci's, 50% retracements, two candle theories, Bollinger Bands, EMAs, doesn't matter. It's all the same thing in my opinion. When you're trading, you're always looking for the best price to get into the markets, and all the techniques you're going to be using is going to be based off a single candle off the higher time frame. You just may be entering on the wick, someone may be entering on the flip, and you may be using this pattern and somebody may be using that pattern. It just really doesn't matter, guys, right? So just read price action, see what's happening here. 31.68 is where it's at for me. Let's see if we see any intraday levels in the market for where price could be respected. Okay, so we have our level here, right, at 31.68, 69, whatever it is. This is the higher low that has created this shift currently on the hourly time frame. If we get a deeper pullback into this level, we have to respect this as a higher low retest in the market. So 31.43 is the last point in call that I'm going to be looking for those continuation buys, because if we start to break it, then we have a shift in structure. And once we have that shift in structure, then we invalidate the idea of USD being strong. Now, let's say if price doesn't come back to any of these levels during the time that we're trading and you miss those moves, then you are going to be waiting for price to break the structural high that has been formed today. And then this will be your buy zone or your buy area, or whatever you want to call it, for your continuation buys around 32.07. But ideally, I know a wick has to form first on the daily and the 4 hourly. So this would make sense. This is where it's coming to for the continuations. And if it doesn't, guys, and you miss it or it just continues up, then simple plan of action is a 32.07 break and then a retest of this structure and then a continuation. My mouse is on some super fly mode. I just can't control it right now. Lord. All right. There you go. Moving forward, Aussie Dollar USD. So again, we want to see this bearish in theory. And let's see what's happened. Okay, so we haven't had much bullish volume and we have very similar structure to GU right now where price is trying to break this level. It will be really, really interesting, and it will be telling if the market start to break these lows. Then we could see a very strong dollar for quite a bit of time. So we haven't had much bullish sentiment. We're still struggling off at the back of yesterday's bearish sentiment. So we're going to be looking for sells on Aussie Dollar USD tomorrow. What I would like to see, and I'm just going to keep this super simple. I want to see that. That is it on Aussie Dollar USD. I don't want to scale down. I don't want to use these levels with the lack of volume, this consolidation. Just get out of this area. Look for that retest of 67.28 and let's say continuation. Now, I meant to say this in the beginning, and we've only got 2 pairs left, guys, but the analysis that I'm giving you is of my own opinion. These are not facts. These can lose. So please trade with caution, be responsible with your trading, and make sure that you're only trading what you're comfortable. Okay. There's your disclaimer. Moving on to USD Swiss Franc. Theory, we should see this bullish on the daily, which we are, which is good news for the analysis that we've done so far. At the moment, we've got a long way back to a key level in the market. I do want to mark out an area where price could struggle, because this is an area where price previously accumulated before it continued bullish. So we may see a reaction here. We have seen a reaction here from the previous day. We didn't sustain a strong bullish candle, but that's just normal coming towards the end of the day. But I would like to see price continuing to push through this level. It's not significant that I won't take buys through it, but I'd just like to see some really strong structure holding. In terms of the structural lows as your majors, I'm not worried about this. I mean, I guess, look, guys, if we come back here, we have a full shift. It avoids all the analysis that we've done, and we just have to reset and start again. So we have this area in the market. Let's mark it here. What would I like to see moving into tomorrow? 96.63. Well, we have a strong 4H level here. So we could potentially be looking for what we looked at on gold, where price, no, not gold. It was one of the other pairs, and I really don't care. But a retest of 95.95. I shouldn't say that, really. I do care. There you go. Euro yen, and I think it was GJ as well, right? Yeah, more so Euro yen, but GJ is exactly the same, where we didn't have that strong push away. We just had that little break, retest, and that continuation. And I could even still be wrong, but that whatever, it doesn't matter. Pull back into 95, 95, retest continuation, not into 96 area here. I'm not concerned about it too much. I know we've consolidated previously, but if we start shifting back, then I am anticipating price to go through this, okay? Based on the market sentiment, we have that USD strength, right? So that would be the first level. Do I want a deeper pullback? Not at all. I just want a 95 pullback continuation and or just a nice shift up back into this area for a higher low formation and then a continuation. So around 96.63, this area here. That's my plan of action with USD Swiss Franc, especially the fact that we have had very low volume from it. I want to see these shifts. Back into 95 again for the record, and a break above 96.63 retest continuation. Final pair that we'll take a look at is New Zealand Dollar USD. So we should see this bearish, right? Very good. We've had the break of the structure. We've got a little bit more to be working with here. So this is going to be at our major pullback level, just like we created the top wick, and then we had that continuation bearish off of the back of the CPI news. We have a consolidation that has formed all day today. So very simply, I'm looking for a break of these previous structural lows for a continuation bearish. I think we need to see a little bit more from USD Swiss Franc and from New Zealand Dollar USD to take some of these trades. So that's going to be the first plan of action. And then I want to see price come back into this reaction area, back down to these lows. Notice I haven't spent too much time on it. Bit boring, these two. But if you trade it, then there's the idea. So guys, that's my analysis. I think, again, it's pretty simple to say that I'm going to be looking for sales tomorrow. The sentiment in the market is really illustrating that with pound JPY, pound USD, and gold. There are some ideas of USD strength and potentially euro weakness. So look out for that. Let's see what happens. I think we're on the right side of the market. We just got to be patient and wait for the price to get to where we need it to get to make sure we can take advantage of really good ranges and some really good moves in the market. So anyway, guys, I love you all, man. You're supporting the channel, and I really do appreciate it. You could support it just a little bit more for me by hitting that like button. That would be absolutely fantastic. And other than that, guys, I just want to say to you, continue to trust the process.